Let's get down there though. Doesn't matter. Quick test of this. Perfect. We're not 100% today, guys, so I'm not sure if we're gonna prestige very well. Let's see. Our event is starting 13:22. So half an hour. Half an hour we have until the race. And at the moment there's 40 people subscribed. 40 people. So you know this feeling when you're not 100%? That's exactly what I have today. I can't pinpoint what's wrong. But yeah, we didn't have much sleep. We didn't eat very well. We don't feel super strong. Stomach is a little bit upset. But on the other hand, it's not bad enough, so we don't get on the bike. So here we are. We saw a quick race popping up, and we're trying again, man. We're trying again. We did a quick race yesterday night. We didn't do that bad for being completely a moron and drinking a bottle of wine and then expecting great results. But yeah, the reasoning was right though. We wanted to punish ourselves by doing the late night race. And to be honest, the front group was pretty nice to be in. But I'm leaving out those 5 guys, right? Because those 5 guys who pushed to the start, we overcome the first gap, but then they straight attacked again when I got back on. They were doing over 5 watts a kilo, man. That's crazy. I don't know why people are joining in the C class with this small field, with this kind of power. Doesn't feel right, but hey, they can be dickheads however they like to be. We dropped to the next group, and that's the group where we actually felt at home at, right? We the pace slowed a little bit down. We got to around 2:50 around instead of 2:36, 37 with the front group. That's 13 seconds a lap difference, guys, that we were doing in the front. 13 seconds a lap. It's kind of crazy on a 2-minute lap, right? Damn it, I'm tired. I'm not expecting much from this race, but I do wanna have push myself a little bit, because if you just do a normal ride, like we are doing at this point, I think I call it quits a lot sooner, and I wouldn't be able to push decent wattages. Only a race will make us get in that extra energy. And if we're on the verge of getting sick, this might not be the best thing to do, or it might be the best thing to do, because we'll have a good sweat, we'll get it out there. After that, we'll get a good shower and hopefully recover the rest of the day. But tomorrow morning I have to get up early. That means I have to get in bed tonight early. And if we have a late race in the evening, we usually don't get into bed soon. So yeah, that's why we decided to do it now. Dollar's sleeping, so it's perfect time gap. Okay, I shall do that, 28 June. Thanks for botting me. Let me try a shotgun, thank you. So yeah. I have to change the camera a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Muchos metros rectos. So yeah, like I said, the sprint race, C-class, I'm hoping to stick with the front group again, although I might not be able to hold a higher wattage today, we'll see, but I hope I feel better after the race, guys, because I feel like, I don't feel like shit, but I don't feel really good at this point. My latest results have been position-wise pretty well. I have to be glad and happy with those for sure. But wattage-wise, average and watts per kilo, 20 minutes, FTP-wise, we're always a little bit under where we want to be. And I'm hoping that will change soon. Like we're having a little bit of a dip now. And then hopefully we'll climb out of that dip soon and get better, because we should be able to hit 3.3 watts per kilo average in a grid race, and our FTP should then be in the high 280s, even the low 290s. That's what we are capable of, just statistics wise. But latest races haven't got me required to get those numbers, because we always have like a little of a drop in the middle of the race. We have a really strong start, we have a really strong finish, but then the laps in between, they always fall a little bit silent. Well, they don't feel like they're easy, right? But you have if you do the grid race, the climb of the mountain. But then the draft is a really good recover part for me after that. And we don't have to press many watts there to get the sticky feeling of the draft, which makes our average slow down. So the numbers are always a little bit lower. Yesterday's race was 275 watts average, so it's not bad. we're still pretty close, right? But we know we can do better. Let's just hope we have a better group today than last time. We had a good group in the second group, but the first group were five. Well, we have to say they were A riders. All of them were A riders. They were all 5 watts a kilo or high force. If you're doing high force, you don't belong in the C cat. You don't even belong in the B cat. You should go to the A category, man. But yeah, those five decided not to do that. We followed them for 2 laps, which is pretty long, I think, because it's that small of a group. The big numbers they're doing, they draw a little bit in the draft I have from them. So they work really hard. They're probably lightweight. So for me, it's a little bit easier to stick in their wheels, but not as easy as I'm gonna stick with them the whole race, right? That's why they are going too fast, especially on the climb. They blow away from me, so I have to go 500 watts just to stick with them, and then after that I can recover again. But yeah, they will kill me. So let's hope everybody chooses the right category, or sort of the right category, because we can beat decent B riders in the crit race, right? If they're doing like 3.8 watts a kilogram and we are only doing 3.3 or 3.2, it should be around the same if they are lower weight, because a lower weight ratio in the crit race isn't that beneficial. You get more advantage of drafting. So lower B categories can join the C category from my perspective. You won't be able to shake them off, right? But they will pull the group, the front group, make the pace stronger, make the pace faster, and might get rid of a few other competition sprinters. And hopefully we're strong enough to stick with them and beat them in the sprint, because we do, if we get to the finish in one piece and in good health, we do have a decent sprint. Last night we got with the second front group, so we leave out those 5 A riders. So we got in the second group, I think we were about 10 people there. We had a great position, we had great pace, we stayed strong with them, stayed strong in the wheel until like the last 400 meters. And then we just blew off, and we won it fair and square, which was nice. Give us the 6th position overall, of course. On Zwift Power we have the gold, so that was pretty important. We did a 3.2 average there, but we have to keep in mind we did 1 lap on our own on a very low wattage, I think only around 200 watts, just cruising along, letting that bigger group catch us, because they were going to catch me anyhow. We were only 2 laps in. I think I had around 20 seconds or 25 seconds on them. It's no use to try to defend that solo. So it's better to just relax a little bit, let them come back, and then just before they are there, ramp it up and catch their wheels. We did that quite good last time around. Then the pace was perfect. It was perfect pacing for me. We ramped it up on the hill. Always got in like top 5, top 6 at the top of the KOM, which is a really short one, of course. And then we stuck in the wheels. We recovered a little bit and we did it all over again. 6 laps in a row. There weren't any crazy attacks. There were a few small ones, but nothing crazy. Nothing we had to work really hard for. And we actually did a smart race. today isn't feeling 100% power wise. I do feel a little bit fluffy, how you say it. It's not fluffy, it's something different. But I'm not feeling 100% in full health, you know. I don't have the power, not in the legs, not in the mind, but I do want to race, guys. I do want to race. I was thinking about having a rest day because of how I was feeling, but then I was like, but maybe if I get on a bike, get a little bit of sweat out, get on the shower, I'll be good. And we won't have time tonight to do it in case we change our mind. So we just got on the bike, feeling decent, and we just gotta do it. It's around 22 minutes, the race. It's always around that. The fastest one we've done is 21 minutes and 5 seconds, I think. But that was with a really big group with a lot of draft. So I'm not gonna get close to that, especially not today, because the group will only be like 40-50 people max, I think. So I'm more guessing around the 23-minute mark. Smaller groups means you work the same amount, but the speed is a little bit lower. That's the biggest advantage of big groups, right? The biggest advantage of big groups is you get to the finish faster if you stay in the group. You will have less pain time. But on the other hand, if there's a few sandbaggers in there, they can hide a lot. Either they can destroy the race by pulling really hard on the front, or they hide and then they attack later on the race on a small climb, for example, and they are really rested. So that sucks on big groups. But on small groups, if you have those guys, like the example I just talked about, those 5 from yesterday, you were able to stick with them for 2 whole laps while not doing crazy amounts of power, right? Because we have a good draft, we're always in the wheel, we never take over. So they have to push 10-15% more wattage than me, and they never have the drafting to rest. So that's why I say a B rider, a decent B rider. I'm not saying the best B riders because they are 4 watts and higher, but a decent B rider who is in the high 3s watts per kilo and doesn't have like a big weight advantage like 90 kilograms or more. Because if it's 90 kilograms or more and still doing 3.8, I'm not gonna be able to catch him. But if it's a lower rider, like 60, 70k max, and then they're doing 3.8 watts a kilogram, then I'll probably have no problem in sticking his wheel with my 3.2, 3.3. And I'm doing half watts per kilo less than him, but I will be sticking his wheel pretty easily because of that advantage, right? The weight, the draft, and yeah, just being on his tail. They know me. We have 13 minutes left before the race. We'll be joining the grid in around 5 minutes. Let's say we'll do about 10k on the flats, which is basically completely flat, right? Pretty high heart rate for not doing anything. I've been on, not even in the gray, I've been on 60, 70, 80 watts max. I'm still 120. Might be an indication of how I'm feeling. I'm gonna wrap it up in 20 seconds, and we'll wrap it up for at least 1 minute. So from 12 to 11 minutes, the countdown will wrap it up, and get a little bit of power in the legs. See how those feel. Probably not that well, but hey, it doesn't matter. They need to warm up a little. They have to wake up. The grit faces, they might start pretty heavy. Quick restart of the heart rate monitor. That didn't feel too bad though. Little 1 minute push, which is about the same as the start up until the first climb. And after that we'll hopefully get in the front group a little bit. What is this guy doing? He's standing in the middle of the road, crazy guy. I was just standing there doing nothing. So 1.3 kilometers to go, and I will join the grid. Even 10 is neither, right? $1K, and now we start the grid. I wonder how many people will be there. I'm guessing around 40 to 50. Hopefully not too many sandbaggers, so we get a nice front group. Around between 10 and 20 people is what I prefer in the front group. If it gets more than 20, you have to get really cautious of the group breaking on the climb, for example, or on the descent. It's easier to fall on the wrong side of the gap. If it's too small, depends on who you're with, right? If you're with a lot of stronger riders, you will have a really hard time, and it's hard to hide yourself in a group. A group of 10 is like most of the time the best because there's less chance that a gap exists, but it's still big enough so you can slide in a few gaps and don't have to like push to get in the wheels once the gap is there. On a small group you have that much more easier. You can see on a descent, oh, they're getting away, but once you start to react to that, they are already like 5-6 meters, and you actually have to have a great power surge to overcome that again. While in a 10-man group, most of the time there's like 1 or 2 riders behind you at least, and if those come out of your draft, you can get in their draft and then they work for you, right? So a 10-man group will give you more chances of less work. Too big of a group, it means a lot of less work, of course, but you have the disadvantage if you're on the hung end of the group at a certain point, which sometimes happens, or even if you want to stay in front, sometimes you get dropped a little bit. If a gap exists at that point, you can be screwed, because most of the time it will be multiple riders being in the front of that gap, and they have the same advantage as you have, right? In a smaller group, if 1 or 2 get away, it's okay. You can work together with the group and get back. Let's go and see how the crit race looks today. Every crit race is different, guys. Every crit race is different. Last night we had a pretty small one, 40 people. Front 4 were A riders, so they were pretty much gone from the start, well, after 2 laps when we got dropped. But the second group was really enjoyable. I know a few names already, like the Dutch rider S. van Dijk. I've been with him a couple of times. He will be in the front as well with me, I'm sure of that. Those Chinese guys and those Japanese guys, it's not a racist thing, but they most of the time are really low in weight. That's just basic statistics. That Kei Matsumoto, that's the number, that's the guy you're gonna see do 4 watts per kilo for sure. For sure. I don't know how these names are always the same ones, because I probably think those names are pretty familiar in Japan and in China. So sometimes you think you know that guy already, but it's a different guy. But at some point, yeah, it must be the same guys as well, right? As you ride the same time slots and the same kind of races, you tend up to meet the same kind of people along the way. But I'm pretty sure the S. van Dijk, the Dutch guy, I've seen him riding alongside me in groups. If you're not mistaken, Mr. Watson as well, the English guy. And like I said, the Japanese and the Chinese guys, most of the time they are higher in wattage, but not the first time we whiffed them, because if you can stay with the group until the last ride, we have a big advantage in the sprint on them. So it all depends on how hard the group works together and on how good they actually are, because if they're doing 5 watts a kilo, they're just right up the front, right? And they can go solo. And if there's like last time 4 or 5 even being in that range, yeah, then it's quite impossible, because if those guys get a little gap, they're gone. Impossible to get them back. That's 5 watts per kilo for the average, right? That's average we're talking about. That means they're like doing 5.5, 5.6, even 6 on the climbs, and then just under 5 on flats. So I hope they have a good time then, but because they should compete in their own class, where they'll probably do really well as well with those numbers. So yeah. $15.7 kilometers, 1 minute and 30 to go. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't really mind B-class riders who are in the mid threes or the high threes watts per kilo average, because my weight average gives me a good draft on them, and we're actually really competitive together, because I can save on the flats and they have a little bit easier time on the climbs, right? But 4.4 that's crazy, man. If you're doing 4.4, because those A riders, they are not doing much more than that, right? But these crit races, that's why every race is different. You never know who your competition is. Sometimes you have a lot of low weights, sometimes you have a lot of high weights, sometimes you have big groups, some small groups. It's so dependent on how everybody is riding, which makes it nice, right? Otherwise, I usually still do the same result. Let's ramp it up. Let's see how these guys want to race today. That's crazy numbers, man. That's crazy numbers. 5. Cannot dream of that. First block was formed. depends how long. It all depends how long. I'm decent on short climbs. So far so good, right? Yeah, that's true. Every course is different. I have a little bit of an advantage on this course. But if it gets hilly, you'll smoke me. Like in the first few minutes. Yeah, it's already there. It was a small attack, I want to neutralize that. Still 12 to go. I don't want to get too optimistic with closing gaps. Small gap behind us. Looks like it was important to be in the front though. We dropped a few riders. this guy that is attacking is either way too strong or way too stupid. Time will tell, right? At this point, he looks way too strong. Hey, Doom. How are you today, man? Thanks for the ride on. This guy in the front must be doing 5 watts kilo or more. It's insane. You're welcome, man. Enjoy them. Yeah, true. But still, he must be like a cross rider when you're gaining time on this kind of group. We're doing 240s, which is fast, right? Our group is getting thinner and thinner though. my Monaco, man. My second destination. My paradise. Three more, guys, 3 more. Two more. No, come on. Fuck. Hey guys. That gap cost me a lot of energy, guys. Fuck. No. I'm done. I'm done. Fuck this. Oh shit, stupid chain. I'm dead, guys. Oh. Guys, that power outage in the end, what was that? Actually, what was that? The first one we overcame it. We were on our max breath, so that sucked. But we had one lap to try and do something about that, and we actually did. And then it happened again, guys. What the hell? Thanks for the follow through. Oh my god. Just when the front group was ramping it up, the power went out, guys. Jesus, how sucky was that? I was hoping the guys behind me were saving a lot so I can jump in their wheel, but they started way too late. They had no clue what they were doing. So we overtook them, but I think we might have a chance for a podium, right? If we were in that front four, we just had to beat one guy for the podium. Damn it! I blamed the trainer today. How was my? All right. Yeah, the numbers were good today, guys. I'm really glad to see that the numbers were strong today. We have a plus 300 watt for 5 minutes. We have 289 for 20 minutes. I'm really happy with that. It's not the best, but we weren't feeling that good today. So I'm really happy. It was a perfect group for us. That except for that one guy, I didn't see the results. It's too bad you cannot reopen the Zwift results, right? Once you close them, it's gone. Like it doesn't matter at all. But I'm pretty sure that one guy who ran away from us is plus 5 watts per kilo for sure. Oh Jesus, I feel so good about this race, but that last dropout from my trainer was such a bummer on the race. Oh, it was a little bit of a bummer. But I'm glad with these numbers. I'm really glad with them. I'm glad how I raced, how I set ourselves up in the group to save as much as possible, but still be on the good end of the gaps. We were always on the front end if gaps fell, which is great, right? Let's have a quick look at Zwift Power, if they are already up. I went deep there in the end, man. Jesus. I really didn't want this dropout to be the thing that fucked us. So yeah, I gave my best just to make it work. I wasn't really expecting to catch those front group back because yeah, it was a sprint, of course. But hey, it's not there yet, I think. Is this today? No, this was yesterday's. Yeah, it's a vegetable day today, man. Vegetable day. We had our one bottle of wine yesterday night, and we punished ourselves with this good race. So this one was the punish one. You were there, right, Doom? But then yeah, a little bit of a hangover the day after, even though we raced. So I didn't do anything yesterday, but today I wanted to make that up, right? I'm curious about the numbers here in Zwift Power, but they probably take a while to be here. Oh, you found the event? Let's have a look. Ooh, nice. Doesn't feel this big. Doesn't feel like there were so many people. So yeah, this guy, wasn't this the front guy rider? This guy was in our group, right? Barefoot. I saw him a couple of times. I saw him at the start as well. He was having the same start as me, a pretty fast one. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, because it's finished, it's not showing anymore, I guess. I think because the race has finished, they oh, wait a minute. Yeah, boy, we still won, guys. Yeah, we're back. We're back. We are back. 3.3 watch average, which is the number we were talking about that was a while ago that we hit. Today we did. Perfect. 290 watts. Perfect. It did feel really strong because I saw we were doing around 300 watts on the flats as well. So it was only on the downhill where I could like rest a bit if I was in the front. But yeah, I felt really strong today. It was good. Yeah. It's probably hard to see here. This is better, right? So these two were with me in the front group, but they missed the train for the sprint. This Daryl was the guy that I beat in the sprint, I guess. 2 seconds ahead. So in the end, it didn't really matter. We were with the front four, but I'm pretty sure we would have gotten like a Zwift podium if we didn't have to drop out. If we didn't have to drop out, we at least would have beaten one of them. I'm not gonna say I would have won it because I don't know how the sprint went and what the numbers of those guys are, but I'm pretty sure we would have beaten one. But we struggled that last round and a half after that first dropout. I was really lucky with the timing because yeah, on the climb is the best part for a comeback, right? So I dropped maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Not sure if it was 4 or 5 seconds on the clock, but it looked like that. But I know if I hit like a mini sprint there, 500-600 watts, I would have closed that gap, and we did. But we were really tired after that. I was really tired after that, so I was like feeling like I burned my matches for the sprint by getting back in that group. But to be honest, we recovered like a tiny bit, enough to complete the whole round, and then on that last climb we were strong enough to go with the front again, and then I was feeling confident to like have a decent sprint, even though we were going deep. And then the second dropout came. That sucked, but hey, that happens, right? That happens. I don't know if it's a thing. I've been over 1 year on the Tex Flux S now, and does it need like maintenance? Because I feel like maybe I should like replace a belt or something after a while. The last couple of weeks, I've at some points, but only like a few times, I felt like if I press really hard on a thing like in a full sprint, I feel my belt like slipping a little bit. But that's only happened like maybe 4 or 5 times in the last month. Hey, cool. No, man. We actually did really good without wine, man. Isn't that a surprise? I wouldn't have expected it. I thought we would be better on wine, feel less pain, but we actually did better today. We hit our force 3.3 average in a while now. I think it's been like almost a month since we hit that. 3.3 as you can see, and then the last 3.3 was there you go, the 1st of May. So yeah, 1 month and 7 days ago was the last 3.3, and that was with a 284. The last time we did 290 was the 10th of April. So we are back at our peak powers, for our previously peak powers. So let's hope we can overcome them. Yeah, exactly. The only thing you should take from me is drink enough wine, man. That's important. Cyclists drink a lot of wine, and the more you drink, the more you want to do races. And then you have a recovery day after that, and then the race after that, you're at your peak. No problem, guys. Send me all your wine. I hear Portugal has a lot of great wines. Denmark has some great wines. I'll take in examples. I'll mail you guys post box office where you can send it to, and I'll test them on stream. No problem. During races, you can pick the race. Beer even better, man. I like beer even more than wine. I like to change a little bit in between them, but beer, especially in summer, beer on those hot days. Wine is more like in addition with food or those warm summer nights. That's what I resemble with wine. Beer is like party. But I'm really happy with these results, guys. I'm really happy. Too bad for the two dropouts. But as I was saying, do you guys know? Doom, you answered that. Still have the original flux. I did have a few issues, and it gets pretty warm. Yeah, it does get warm as well, but I don't care about warm to be honest. I just feel like I don't. It costs a lot of money, right? And if a maintenance will make it last months, maybe years more, then I want to do that. Of course, I should maybe Google it, because I don't want to wait till the belt snaps before I replace it, right? But I don't want to open it up and screw it up more than it actually is. It's doing a great job, although the two dropouts, I think they might be caused by heat at this point, because they only happened in the end, right? Last week, wasn't it on the drunk stream we had the dropouts as well, or was it the race before that? But I do remember one of our last races where we had the same problem, where we had one or two small dropouts. They were only a few seconds, but they can mess up your entire race, man. They can change your race for definitely change your race, because you will get a gap and you have to close it again. But depending on the moment, it will cost a lot of energy. At this point, the first one was at the best possible moment, because the climb is something you have to search on, but if you can make up a gap, few seconds there, and make it up easier than maintaining like 20-30 seconds of sprint power to get back. The last one costs us a little bit of prestige for the Zwift ending, but hey, we got a nice sprint out. We hit plus 900 watts if I'm not mistaken, so I'm really happy with that, guys. The other results are not showing yet, so I'm gonna hit the shower and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We had a early race today. Well, it's already 2 p.m. of course, but yeah, I have to get in bed early tonight. And if I race in the evening, I'm not able to sleep the first few hours after a race because of the power you put in, the effort you put in. My body is not able to sleep for at least 2 hours after a race. So that's why we did it in the afternoon so we can relax. Yeah, you're gonna say I have to go to the bees again, right? Because I got the gold. But you did see the race, and if you see the race, you cannot say we have to go to the bees, right? This is exactly where we need to be, man. This is our game at this point. I am promising you, we are doing more mixed races. We've done 2 this week alone. The 3R La Guardia and the 3R Volcano Circuit. They were both mixed races, and we'll do more of them just to transition over to the bees. But if we don't gain power or we don't lose weight, we are exactly where we need to be at this point. And I do want to try more mixed races, try and ramble up with the bees and see if we can push our power there by staying with a better group than us. But at this point, we're not, man. We've done a lot of mountains for our Tron bike, man. But yeah, I like that race we did together. Lutcher, was it? Lutcher race? I like that race, man. I hated it. We had to do it twice, but I was liking it. I was liking it. Yeah, we might do that, man. Maybe late this week we'll set a race up. See what's scheduled on the Zwift events. See what times we can, and we'll set that up, man. We'll do that. Another climbing race. Most of the time, those climbing races are pretty long in time, and that is what's costing me more than the climbing itself. Yeah, it was true. And you were like third in the bees. You weren't even planning that. You already did, and then you were even third in the bees. You crazy man. And you didn't even start fast because you stuck with me for like the first 2K, and then you only started climbing. Yeah, you crazy man. I was still pretty good in the scenes though. I think I did a podium. I'm not sure. Is it still here? I don't know what it's called again. It was after this, right? So it must have been one of those. Maybe this one? No. Downtown Dolphin. London International, maybe? Nope. Dutch Mountains? Was it this one? Nope. Ah, here it is. 5th. Ah, you didn't win, man. You were 2nd. You liar. You liar, you. Yeah. I was 5th. I was 5th. You don't. I look less at these numbers because you have the downhill where you have almost. I did almost no power. But as you can see, 1 hour and 5 minutes. That's longer than I'm used to for most races. So, yeah, tough races, guys. Tough races. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that maybe later this week. I'll PM you if I know when I can, and then we'll see if you are able to as well, right? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for support, and the support today was crazy during the race, guys. You guys pulled me through that last lap for sure. I might have gone for the first gap, but after that I was whiffed, and you guys made me get strong enough to keep with them and even get a sprint out in the end. Sorry for the dropout, but we still have gold medal on Fit Power, and we have great numbers today, so I'm really feeling good about that. So thank me up. Hit me up. Thank you so much, and I see you guys later this week. Tomorrow will be a rest day because we're working day hours. I don't think we'll be fit enough in the evening to do another one. So I think tomorrow's a rest day, but then the day after that we're back in the game. Back in the game. Oh, the 4 horsemen I have to do as well. So the mega pretzel, I think I have. Let's see. Oh no, I have to do the mega pretzel as well. So I have to do both as well, of those as well. But you're way faster than me, so. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much, and I speak all to you this week. Cheers, buddy.